Did you think that building your agency would give you more freedom? I know I did. And after building a business that had me pushing 80-hour work weeks and burning out, I transformed my agency from a customization nightmare into a profitable machine that lets me take Fridays off. Now, since then, I've been able to help over 800 agency owners escape the traditional agency trap. And I have to tell you, watching smart, talented people build prisons of their own success has been extremely eye-opening. Now, while most of them were making good money, many of them were still unhappy and unfulfilled. They were working nights, weekends, they were missing a lot of their kids' events, and ultimately feeling trapped by the business that they created that was meant to give them the freedom that they were hoping to have. So to help make your business journey 10 times easier, here are 35 brutal truths that I wish I'd known before building my first agency. Now, I need to tell you that these aren't theories, these are hard-earned lessons from evolving and transforming my own business, as well as helping hundreds of others do the same. So some of these might be hard to hear for you and or digest, but I'm coming from a place of love and they could save you years of stress and struggle. Lesson number 1. In 2017, my marketing automation agency called Systemly was stuck doing around $60K a month, but I was working 80 plus hours a week and my team was working overtime. Now, like most owners, I thought I just need to hire more people, but instead I actually simplified our offering and really systematized the delivery of our service. And within 6 to 8 months, revenue actually doubled with half the team, and I finally started to get my life back. So lesson number 1 is more people often means more problems, not more profit. So you should simplify before you multiply. Lesson number 2, at my agency Systemly, we started as a full service marketing automation boutique, if you will. We built everything from sales funnels to client onboarding campaigns. And when we looked at our data, webinar funnels were making up most of our income, or at least why many people were coming to us in the first place. So we actually doubled down on webinars. We cut everything else from the front end entry point of our business. Revenue jumped up 30% the following months, while operations actually got simpler for us. So lesson number 2 is the riches are in the niches, but really the riches are in specialization. So focusing on one core service that's profitable and repeatable for you to deliver. Lesson number 3, many agency owners come to us and they're charging some form of hourly rate at the end of the day. Oftentimes it's like $150 an hour for a bunch of labor. And when we introduce the owners to the fact that they can actually charge 10 to 20K for even a half or full day of consulting when structured correctly, they kind of have that light bulb moment. And this completely shifts the perspective of value and how they think about their entire business model. So lesson number 3 is stop selling your time as time. Yes, we all are fundamentally selling time, but we don't want to sell it as time. We want to package that and package our expertise in a way that we're delivering a specific result or outcome with our time. Lesson number 4, I recently talked to an agency owner that was doing about 1.2 million in revenue. They had around 15 employees. And after expenses, market rate salaries, the owner was only taking home $85K a year. Meanwhile, another agency owner was making $400,000 a year on $600K in revenue with a team of 3 people. So the lesson here in number 4 is revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. We need to optimize for our margins, not the top line. Lesson number 5, last year, a client came to us doing done-for-you marketing, and they were serving course creators. They were really embedded in one of their clients' operations. They essentially became employees. Not too long after that, they actually got let go because they lost that valuable outside perspective that you have when you're initially brought in to work with a client. So lesson number 5 is make sure that even when you're getting closer to your client and serving a client for a long time, that you hold the frame and stay in that advisor position, not really falling into that implementer position, because your outside perspective is actually your most valuable asset. Lesson number 6, most agency owners have zero data because they track nothing, or they shift from tracking nothing to wanting all of the data. No data is not useful. Too much data is overwhelming and paralyzing. So the most successful agencies focus on a few key metrics that will lead to simpler decision-making and speed. So lesson number 6 is focus on fewer metrics, the ones that actually matter to the biggest bottleneck in your business and that matter to your life and your business success. Lesson number 7, many of our clients that we've worked with over the years are constantly comparing their business to some other like larger or better option that they've seen from some other guru or competitor on like say LinkedIn. Now, after working with 800 clients, you're going to see more cases where that small 4-person team is more times than not more profitable and a happier owner than that large business. Once we stop trying to build someone else's dream agency or dream business, your satisfaction and your profits will both increase. So lesson number 7 is build the business that you want, not the business that others expect you to have. Lesson number 8, most agencies we've served come to us because they're in a position where they're customizing everything for each and every client. And profit margins are usually low, if they're even profitable in the first place, 5 to 15%. Now, shortly after standardizing and productizing their process and their way of doing work, they experience margins jumping to 30, 40, and even 50+% while seeing clients' results improve. So lesson number 8 is actually that customization is the enemy of scalability and profitability and predictability. Lesson number 9, when auditing marketing agencies that come to us, I often find gold mines of expertise and intellectual property sitting untouched on their Google Drive folders. Actually, one owner had literally 40+ process documents and templates and frameworks that they used internally with their clients. So what we did was help them package that up into a training program that turned into an 8-week program that generated $50,000 in its first launch and multiple 6 figures over the course of the following year. So lesson number 9 is that most experienced owners are sitting on at least 6 figures of untapped revenue from their intellectual property. Lesson number 10, at our agency, Systemly, every client project was custom in the beginning until we really started looking at our data. 80% of our clients wanted the same thing, a webinar funnel. Now, I know I talked about this a little bit earlier, but we had to look at that 80-20 situation. And when we look at a lot of our other clients, they kind of have that same 80-20. So if we can look at that one service and standardize it into a repeatable product with clear deliverables and a smaller delivery window like we did with these webinar funnels, your close rate's going to triple and your delivery time is going to cut in half. So lesson number 10 is your best service is usually hiding in plain sight. So look at what's already working, what's being requested, and also what's profitable for you to deliver right now. Lesson 11 is we used to do monthly marketing retainers and clients stayed for 4 to 6 months on average. When we switched to a 90-day program, a 90-day experience that had clear outcomes with a higher upfront investment on the front end, client satisfaction actually increased. We got paid more for a shorter window of time. And then we were able to demonstrate results in that short window. It was easier to sell because it was a finite window, but most of them ended up hopping into our recurring revenue program on the backside anyway, staying for another 6 and 12 months. So lesson number 11 is shorter, more intensive programs and experiences as an entry point often create results that will have your client jumping into an ongoing recurring revenue service or retainer anyway. Lesson number 12, most owners spent years avoiding content creation, thinking that they need some sort of perfect production process or be amazing copywriter. Once our clients started consistently productizing how they create content, they started to see a steady increase in the leads that they were getting, the conversations that they were starting, the sales that were starting to flow in that ended up being 6 figures in income over a 12-month window when they were doing nothing previously. So lesson number 12 is start creating content before you feel ready. Your expertise matters more than your production value, and you have a ton of it. You just got to get the reps in to find your voice. Lesson number 13, most agency owners go from marketing nowhere to then trying to be everywhere. LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, email. It's exhausting, right? They want to also be a podcaster. When we get agencies to focus on one social platform, leaning into both some short form and long form content, usually within 3 to 6 months, they start to see a steady flow of qualified leads and conversations getting into their pipeline. So lesson number 13 is focus on one marketing channel until it's producing consistent results for you and double down on it versus trying to be everywhere. Lesson 14, most agency owners I work with think they need new leads to sell their new redesigned services that they work on when they come to work with us. Now, most of our clients get their first few sales from dozens of past customers or people that were already in their pipeline that they just hadn't talked to in a while. So they actually follow what we call revenue rush campaigns to re-engage their network and past clients, which usually results in a handful of closed deals and opportunities in the early days. So lesson 14 is the best and next prospects for your new offer are often already in your network. Lesson 15, a pattern I see when I look at hundreds of agency owners' websites is that they talk endlessly about their own process and themselves, and they barely mention the problems that their ideal clients have. As we get our owners to rewrite their messaging to focus entirely on the client pain points, lead quality immediately improves improves and their sales cycles shorten much quicker. So lesson 15 is talk about the problems you solve, not the logistics of how you solve them. Lesson 16, most agencies do custom onboarding for each and every client. It's time consuming and it's super inconsistent. So when we get our clients to standardize their onboarding process, that every single client goes through the same process, client results will improve. Our delivery time decreases due to the less waste and the less back and forth. So lesson number 16 is to standardize your new client onboarding process. It's going to be better for you. It's going to allow you to remove yourself, and it's going to be better for your clients. Lesson 17, most of the agencies that come to us are losing profits due to scope creep or scope seep. We help them package their service into clear phases that have specific deliverables and very clear boundaries around delivery timing and communications. So when our clients now get asked for extra work on top of what was already agreed upon, they actually have a process for handling that. And they also are weeding out prospects that are looking for things that are so big outside of their core service offering. So when our clients stick to their core offer, their margins, guess what, increase because work is predictable. They know all of the steps to solve their client's problem. So lesson 17 is create clear boundaries and packages because that'll protect your profits. Lesson 18, a common pattern. Agencies will hire fast when they're busy and then struggle during slow periods. The agencies that map out and systematize their core sales, their core marketing, and how they deliver before they go hire a ton of people will actually need less people because they only need fewer people, but the right people. And then they'll exactly where those people need to be because they've mapped out the entire process. Those are the agencies that hit higher profits with less people and way less complexity. So lesson number 18 is build systems and your process out before hiring. Automate that first, systematize that first, delegate it second. Lesson 19, most agencies hire to increase capacity, aka take on that next client or two clients so they can make more money. The problem is that they're still drowning in their own schedule and they can't focus on the activities to generate more income to increase that top line. So when the founder is still super busy because they hired for capacity, not to buy back their time, things get tight and stressful real quick. So the agencies that hire to buy back their own time usually will grow their revenue much quicker. And this is usually hiring an admin role or an assistant first, then someone to help with client support, specifically removing you from onboarding as the founder. So lesson number 19 is to hire to buy back your time and you'll grow to be able to afford the next hire. Lesson 20, many agencies we tried to help at some point had tried to and or were thinking about creating some sort of digital product or coaching or course offer. When we get them organized, we have our clients pre-sell a live training or this new workshop offer. For example, Chris, one of our clients, he made $30,000 in 30 days by launching his pilot program with stuff that he already had on his computer. Lesson number 20 is you already have the valuable intellectual property. It is now time to start monetizing it and launch that new offer. Lesson 21, many of our clients were turning away smaller businesses that looked just like their ideal client, but just couldn't afford the project or the annual retainer. So when many of our clients like Tim take part in simplifying down their service into an offer that can be packaged in more of a done with you vehicle, like training or group consulting or workshops, you're going to be able to serve that segment of your ICP, let them pay something that's affordable while still being profitable. So Tim, for example, launched a $3,500 8-week program that was generating multiple six figures per year. And actually, there was one point where 40% of those people would upgrade to his larger retainers that were like 80 to 100K a year. So lesson number 21 is create offers at different price points to serve more of your market. Lesson number 22, in my agency, we noticed that clients were getting stuck at similar points of the implementation process. So instead of just repeating ourselves, saying the same thing over and over and over again, we actually created short training videos and little mini playbooks with templates for the most common scenarios where we saw our clients getting hung up. Sometimes it was mindset, sometimes it was tactical. Our client success rates improved and our team started to save up to 15 hours per week in their own work because they weren't answering the same questions over and over again. So lesson number 22 is turn your recurring explanations and resources into scalable assets that can be used for all of your clients. Lesson number 23. Some of our agency clients, when they came to us, had already spent months trying to build out like the perfect training program or the perfect consulting offer with zero sales. We have other clients though that decided to do a paid pilot program with 5 clients at a half price discount to get started, and we're able to improve it each and every iteration, each and every cohort, so they can get feedback while making money. Guess which approach worked better? So lesson number 23 is validate your offers with paying clients before trying to build them out completely from end to end. Lesson 24, when we review the founder's calendar, 70% of their time is spent on things that are probably like $25 an hour tasks. So getting them to hire help, even part-time help in the beginning, which is what I did, immediately bumps their effective hourly rate because they can now take that newfound time and focus it on revenue producing activities. So lesson number 24 is your time as the founder is the most valuable time, and it's also your most valuable asset. So spend it on money-making activities in order to grow. Lesson 25, most agency owners are always available for their customers. You might have even given out your cell phone number. We give our clients communication boundaries. They have to go set boundaries, specific hours, response times, and communicate those to their clients. They rarely lose clients when they put this in place, and it filters out the ones that they probably should have gotten rid of anyway a long time ago while getting their life back and their sanity back. So lesson number 25 is your boundaries actually will train your clients how to treat you. Lesson 26, many of the emails that we sent to our clients came directly from my email address in the early days. Sending your client communications from someone else on your team will quickly allow you to remove yourself as that main point of contact. It's terrifying at first, but the client satisfaction will actually go up because your team will probably be able to respond faster than you anyway, which is a win for you and it's a win for your client because they're getting more speed. So lesson 26 is your involvement often prevents your team from growing and your clients from winning quickly. Lesson 27, every agency that comes to us claims that they need better clients. Now, if I look at their calendars, most spend 80% of their time on delivery, 0% on marketing to ideal clients. So we started with one owner on daily LinkedIn posts, building up the capacity to start writing every day, sharing value, and better clients found him within weeks. So lesson number 27 is that you attract what you consistently put out. If you consistently put out valuable content and engage with those that engage with you, you will start to see your ideal prospects coming to you. Lesson number 28, we had an agency owner that finally hit their long-time goal of 100K months, but when they hit it, they were actually miserable. When we started working together, we made some changes. They had to let go of some clients and their revenue actually dropped to around like 75K, but they instantaneously started seeing their profit go up because they were slashing some of their overhead. And with the new way of delivery, which was far more leverage than their done for you service, they actually started having more profit and started having fun again. So lesson number 28 is revenue goals are entirely meaningless if they don't serve your life. Lesson 29, most agencies say yes to any client with a heartbeat or any client that would pay. Being able to pay you is not a qualifying criteria. So when our clients start tracking profit per client type, they often discover that their bigger clients, the ones paying the most, take up most of their time and actually result in the littlest of profit when they compare to some of their other smaller clients that had smaller project rates. So lesson 29 is the bigger the budget doesn't equal more profits. It usually means more overhead, more bandwidth, aka probably not worth it in the end. Lesson 30, most agencies plan to allocate time for their own growth, but they always end up giving all of that time to their clients' demands. Now, when we reframe our client's business as their own business being the most valuable client, it's pretty easy for them to now start designating time each week to grow their own business, just as if they would do that for one of their other clients. But now they're treating themselves as the most valuable client. And so that actually helps them protect themselves from a lot of client distractions and allocate time in the working hours to work on their own business. Some even rebranded it and call it CEO time. You can do it however you want. Lesson number 30 is how you frame your boundaries matters as much as having them in the first place. Lesson 31, a common pattern that we've seen after 800 clients served is that agencies hit their revenue goals, but owners still can't take a vacation. Many of our clients now schedule their vacations first and all of their hobbies first into their calendar. Then we build the systems and their marketing around it to hit the revenue goals based off of them already having their ideal schedule. Revenue is intentional. So lesson number 31 is design your business around your ideal life, not the other way around. Lesson 32, we reviewed an agency's service offering recently and they had 9 different packages and they were really trying just to serve everyone. So what we did was cut down to one core service that had multiple tiers of support. Sales got easier, delivery got simpler, and profit margins doubled. So lesson number 32 is the path to freedom is through focus, not variety. Lesson number 33 is most agencies wait till clients are served and targets are hit before ever taking a break and or taking a vacation. They end up never taking time for themselves because the goals just keep moving. That goal line, the goal post keeps moving. We need to schedule breaks into our weeks, months, and years and plan money-making activities around them if you want to give everyone your best around you and be at your best. Your family, your spouse, your team, your clients are not going to get your best if you're constantly burned out. So lesson number 33 is rest is a requirement, not a reward. Lesson 34, a pattern across 800 of the owners that we see take regular breaks outperform those who don't. I had a client block every Friday as think time. It was their best strategic decision-making window in the week. Their biggest breakthroughs happened then. During that time, they didn't take any client calls. So block your days. Lesson number 34 is space actually will create clarity, and it needs to be built into your schedule. That's actually working on your business. Lesson 35, the biggest pattern I've seen after, again, helping 800 people, those who build around their ideal lifestyle outperform those who sacrifice everything at the altar of scale. One owner cut revenue 40%, but structured it around now a 25-hour work week. Profit stayed the same. So happiness soared, joy soared, fulfillment soared. So lesson number 35 is build the business you want to run forever, not just the one that makes the most money. One of the core ways we've been able to help all of these agency owners build a business that they love, that gives them joy and lets them have fun again, is following what we call the alt agency model. And I do a super deep dive with a 33-page case study right here.